Hello everyone, so this video is going to be showing you how to automatically roll covered calls on a Friday at a certain time. So a use case for this is, let's say you sell calls and your call is in the money and you really don't want to get rid of your shares. So what this will do is it'll automatically roll the call to the week after. I'm not going to get into any optimization of the best call to roll to rolling to higher strike, that stuff. I'm going to just keep it simple to illustrate the concept. But might want to do this for many reasons. Maybe you have a long-term capital gain. You don't want to have taxable event. There's many reasons you would want to do this. Of course, the IRS will find many reasons for you to pay taxes anyway, but that's a different story. So anyways, let's get the show on the road. Some of you guys asked about the sunglasses. I'm not trying to be gangster, believe it or not, or cool. To be honest, I just have them because I lost my regular glasses. So I need to find them as soon as possible. Anyways, let's get started. So one very important thing to note is this thing relies on combo trades, because to roll up your call you sold, you have to buy this week's call and sell next week's call. So that order together simultaneously is a combo or a bag order. And for me, this never has worked on a paper account properly. When you place an order, it's always stuck on pending submit or pre-submitted. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this thing, so you won't, like practice forever and it'll never work. But it does work on the real account. Let me just make sure my audio is working. Great. Okay, so let's get the show on the road. No more excuses. Okay, so first things first is let's connect to Interactive Brokers to IB-async. So from IB-async, import star, like in most of my other videos, IB equals IB, util.start loop, ib.connect, port equals 4003, client ID equals 0. So the scenario is as follows. So let's say we were to look at our portfolio. So remember, you can do ib.portfolio or ib.positions to get your portfolio or positions. So here I'm doing ib.positions. I'm dropping the account so you won't see my account number, even though it's a demo account. But then I click here, and you see I have my positions. Also, I did something like I did dot apply. One second. For some reason, the font is really small. Let's make the font bigger. So I basically I did ib.positions, util.df makes a data frame, remove the account, and then I extracted the symbol, strike, expiry, and security type from the contract object, so it'll be easier to filter. So the scenario is like this. You sold the call, so your call is expiring this week, so 10/25. So assume you are on Friday 10/25, right? So you have 500 shares and you sold 5 call options against them. For beginners, a call is for 100 shares. So to sell covered calls, you would sell for your 100 shares, you'll sell 1. So this is a scenario. You sold 5 of these Tesla 215 strike call options, and it's basically you don't want to get rid of your stock. So what you want to do is you want to roll your call option, which means you are going to buy this week's call and you're going to sell next week's call. And you can usually get away with selling at a much higher strike, depending on how close to in the money you are and volatility, earnings, that sort of thing. But we're going to just roll it to the strike that's just this strike or above and the next expiry. That's what we're going to roll to. Okay, so I'm just, this is not going to necessarily work for you guys, but for me, I'm going to find the call I roll to. I want to roll, so I'll call it this week's call, and I'm going to get it from the positions thing I have here. So df positions dot sec type equals opt, because I only have 3 positions here. So to get the option I want, it's this option. So sec type equals opt, and then I guess symbol equals Tesla will probably do it. Or I could just get the first one with sec type equals opt. I'll do .ilog0.contract. So if you see I have this week call, did that work? I have this week's call, but this, if you're getting it from the positions, you actually need to add the exchange. So let me add the exchange equals smart here. Okay, so we can do IB.qualify contracts anyway, but we don't really need that because we have everything. But anyways, it's good practice. So this is this week's call. Okay, so now let's get the options chain because we want to know what call to roll to. So in my other videos, I've plenty of videos on options. To get the options chain, you do something like ib.rec sec def params, and that gives you the option chain. So you give it like an underlying symbol equals let's make a function. We'll make a function def get chain underlying symbol, and then we'll get the stock because we're gonna need the contract ID. So I'll do underlying stock equals stock, symbol equals symbol, exchange equals smart, currency equals USD. So now I'll do IB.qualify contracts to get the contract ID, underlying stock. So now, and I guess, the sunglasses make it a little harder to see. So now I can get the options chain by doing this ib.rec sec def opt param. So I do like underlying symbol equals underlying. I guess I have symbol here, so I'll do underlying symbol equals underlying symbol, and then I'll do the next thing is this thing. And you have to keep it blank. Underlying sec type. That is underlying stock. That's sec type. And then underlying contract ID, con ID. That's why we needed the qualified contracts. Underlying stock dot con ID. So this should work. Let's see if it works. If I call this chains and I do return chains, let's see if this actually worked. So I can do chains equal. I can do get chain. Tesla is the stock. Or let's make it a little bit better. We'll do underlying. This first of all, this underlying symbol, and then we'll make this this we call dot symbol. We'll get the symbol from that. So this is how the chain looks. Ooh, still wrong. So this is a chain. It's like this ugly thing, but you can do you can call this chain and then you can do util.df chains. I'll put this all in a function in a second. So you get like the chains by exchange. We can filter to query dot exchange equals smart. I have this in other videos, so like this might be a repeat. So now you get just the smart one, and we want the strikes and the expirations. So you can do this explode thing. You can do explode strikes, and this gives you like strikes here, and then you can do dot explodes expirations, and it'll give you expirations. Oops, explode. Okay, so now we have like our data frame, and let's just for the sake of prettiness, let's rename it to let's get rid of the strike. Make strike and expirations expiration. So I can do rename expirations expiration, and there's probably a shortcut way to do this. Strikes strike, and then I do access equals 1, and that probably doesn't work. Strike. Okay, so let's return this object. I'll call it but let's sort it first. Actually, let's dot sort values expiration strike. Make it a little nicer. So now you see this is the option chain ordered by expiration and then strike. By the way, not all these contracts are valid, so you're gonna have to do one by one qualify contracts to get which ones are valid. But if we put this in here, and we return this, we should get the options chain. So let's see if this works. I'll do get chain underlying symbol equals this week call dot symbol. So I got the, ooh, that's ugly. Get chain. It's weird. Now it's freezing for some reason. This is kind of weird. That's weird. Can we just do this? Chains. Oh, sorry. I had an infinite loop. Okay, so now we get the options chain. And I guess we probably should reset index, right? To make it a little bit look better. You see, now you have the index going one by one. Okay, so this is the options chain, right? So now let's get the strike, the call we want to roll to. So that means like next week's call. That's the call we want to sell. We want to buy back the call we sold, meaning this week's call, and we want to sell next week's call. So let's get next expiration and the strike that's the first strike that's greater than or equal to the current week strike. Of course, you can have a whole optimization algorithm, which I do, by the way, for these rolling things, because sometimes I don't want to get rid of. I want to get rid of the stock at any cost. I don't want to, so I try to like roll to like a super high strike and that sort of thing. But let's just illustrate the concept. So so we'll do that here. So let's create a function def get next week call candidate, and let's make it a little bigger. I can't really see. I think the sunglasses are getting to me because I could see earlier, but now it's nighttime. Okay, so like the input is this week call, and that's of type option, and we get the chain. That's get chain this week call dot symbol. Let's get the next expiry. Next expiry. What's the next expiry? That's chain dot expiration greater than this week call dot last trade date or contract month dot expiration dot min. So we get the expiration right after this expiration. So now I can do next expiry chain. So that's basically the chain. Just for the next expiration, it'll be chain dot chain dot expiration equals next expiry. Let's see how it looks so far. Return next expiry chain. So I'll do get next week call candidate this week call, and I should get the chain so far for next week's expiry. See, they're all November 1st. But I want the strike that's greater than or equal to this week call strike. So let's add that. I'll do next expiry chain dot strike greater than or equal to this week call dot strike. Okay. So now if I return this, for example, I'm gonna get all the strikes that are greater than or equal to this week's strike, and I want the first one. So it's sorted in order. So but it's not necessarily guaranteed that this is a valid option contract. So let's go one at a time until we have a valid option contract and return that. So we're gonna do IB.qualify contracts one at a time until we get a valid contract. So I can do something like this. I can do for index, and sorry, I'm going a little fast through this. Roll in next expiry chain dot strike greater or equal to this dot iter rows And then I can do next week call candidate equals option, symbol equals this week call dot symbol, last trade date or contract month equals next expiry, strike equals row dot strike. I think that works. Right equals C for call, and let's make it next line to make it more readable. Exchange equals smart, currency equals USD. Okay, so this is the next week call candidate. Okay, so to know it's valid, you need IB.qualified contracts to return something that's a list greater than one, equal one, honestly, because you're doing it one at a time. So if next week call candidate IB.qualified contracts, if this is one, this means that it's valid, right? So then I can break, and then I can return next week call candidate. So honestly, like, you can skip all these steps and just find a call you know about and do it, but I'm just showing you like programmatically how you would do it, because sometimes like some of these strikes don't exist for the expiration, even though it says it does here. So like this will make sure you have a valid contract, so I'll return that. And then if I do this, let's see if it works. See, I get something like this, and I'll call it next week call. So this is next week call. Okay, so now I want to get the underlying contract for those call options, so like the stock. To be honest, this is not necessarily needed, but I'm going to show you like using maybe to use a price condition, although this is all optional. But anyways, so I can do like underlying contract equals stock, symbol equals this week call dot symbol, exchange equals smart, currency equals USD, IB.qualified contracts, underlying contract. This is because I'm going to need the contract ID later when I want to do like some price condition. So let's say I want to like suck in every penny of time decay. So I only want to activate the rolling the option if it's in the money. So I can use like a price condition to check that the thing is in the money. But anyways, this is optional. I'll show you why in a second. And okay, so now this is the meat. This is where we create the combo contract in which we want to roll our covered call roll with. So like this is the contract that's buying this week option and selling next week's one, right? So let's create this, and it's very important, by the way, for combos, and I didn't know this. Combo legs must set exchange equals smart, or it won't work. Meaning, like, if you're using exchange equals smart overall, you have to set exchange equals smart for all the legs, or modifying the price won't work. And this whole algorithm is about modifying the price. So so we can create this like rolling covered call combo equals bag, symbol equals this week call dot symbol, exchange equals smart, currency equals USD, and then the big thing is the combo legs equals we got the first combo leg is going to be con ID equals this week call con ID, ratio equals 1. That's when we're going to buy this week's callback. So action is buy, exchange equals smart. That's the key thing I learned that you need. And then another combo leg, con ID. This is for next week one we're going to sell. So next week call dot con ID, ratio is 1, action is sell, exchange equals smart. Okay, so Yeah, so that's our rolling covered call combo. Okay, so let's take a step back. As you see, I have my glasses now. So, A, I found my regular glasses, and B, I'm not recording at the same time as the previous part of this video. But just to make clear what we want, let's take a step back. So, we have sold a call option and it's expiring. Let's say we're at a Friday. It's expiring that Friday. So, our goal is to roll the call option, but we do want to get as much of the time value as possible, and um, if we're very fortunate, we want it to expire worthless. But we don't want to just pay to buy it back when there's some value. This is obviously not always optimal and that sort of thing, but this is just for practice for this. So like this is what we want. So we want to, as I said a second ago, suck as much of that time value as possible and only roll the option if we really need to, if we're going to get assigned. And we want to start this process at 1:30 Eastern time, because from experience, I think interactive from 2:30 Eastern will start automatically. You're at their peril. They can liquidate you, do whatever and stuff. So you want that control. So this is the plan of attack. So we want to place a buy order for the rolling covered call combo that we defined previously, for the amount we want. Let's say we have to roll 5 calls. We place a buy order of 5. And what this will do is it'll buy back these 5 that we have, that were short, the ones that we sold expiring this week, and it'll sell 5 for next week. So that's what this order will do. But okay, so we want that order, but we want to like initialize it to a price we know that's not going to get filled. So let's say it's a buy order because we want to get a credit. So we can initialize it to negative 100, which means since it's for 100, it's like a contract is for 100 shares. This would be a credit of $10,000. Okay, so it's not going to get filled. Of course, you have to make sure with your order presets and all that stuff that it doesn't reject it for being too out of place. But anyways, this is what we have here. So just as like an optional thing and for extra practice, you can have like a conditional order that this order on the combo will only trigger if the underlying price is above the strike, meaning it's in the money, and after 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. These are not really necessary because like the if statements we'll see later handle these conditions, but just for practice and that sort of thing, I will say you got to be super careful with the order active only after 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, because you got to make sure your time zones work, and for that you need like an IB gateway. Let me see if I could find my IB gateway. When you first log in to IB gateway, you need to make sure that like the time zone is right. So like if you scroll down, you put time zone like America, New York, because I do Eastern like the market, even though I don't live in New York. But make sure the time zone is what you want, because this bug cost me a lot once. Okay, so basically a time condition to after 1:30 Eastern, underlying stocks price above the strike. Okay, so what's the plan of attack? So the plan of attack is we are going to subscribe to 5-minute bars or real-time bars for the underlying symbol. And if the close of the underlying symbol is greater than or equal to strike, meaning we're in the money, we're going to adjust the price of the for our order from negative 100 to maximum of the previous price we had and the current market price of the combo. The reason I have this maximum here, for the first one will be maximum of negative 100, negative 99.95, and whatever the market price of the combo, because that means like every 5 seconds, assuming it's in the money, the price will get higher and higher, and eventually you're going to get filled. It's going to converge to something that you're going to get filled. So that's the reason I have this max. It'll be a little bit more clear in a second. And I just want to say a huge note is this logic assumes that like you're in the money. Like it only checks if you're in the money during market hours. But like if some of you guys know that people are allowed to exercise options even after hours, so like even up to 5:25 to 5:30 Eastern. So if you really don't want to get assigned, you probably should be more aggressive and say like you have if you're like $5 in the money or whatever instead of in the money itself. But anyways, instead of rambling, let's show you this process. So the first thing is I want to subscribe to market data for the combo. To do that, you do IB.rec market data, rolling this combo, false, false. I have many other videos that show this. So this is the combo. So to get the market price, I can do IB.ticker, rolling covered call combo dot market price. You can also use like bid, ask, midpoint, some function of this. So the market price is negative 1.95. If you do this at negative 1.85, you see it changes. Okay, so now let's get the number of contracts we need to roll. So for that, I'm actually gonna just see how I was short 5 contracts, but I'm gonna so I need 5 to roll, but I'm gonna anyways just use the I'm gonna basically just use my positions thing. So because this won't work for you, but in this particular portfolio, I know that my first option contract is the short Tesla call, so this will give me 5. Okay. So now we want to okay, so now we want to basically we want to create the order. I wrote place order, but I mean let's say define order with ridiculous initial price. I call it placeholder price. Holder price. And I think I lost everyone here. But anyways, okay, so we can have like some initial placeholder price of like something that like is very far, like negative 1.85 is the price now. So let's do something like negative 100. That's way out. Okay, and then we can have a rolling call order. I'll call it rolling call order equals limit order, buy order. It's a buy order. Total quantity is num contracts to roll, and then we have our limit price equals initial placeholder value. Initial placeholder price. What did I call it? Holder price. Okay. So that's our thing, and I wanted to add time conditions. So let me just copy actually what I have because I don't want to get into too many details. I have a whole other video on conditions. So basically, I want these things. I want a time condition, and the format is like if you guys are familiar with Python formats, it's %y, %m, %d, and then %h, hour, minute, second. So that so this already is that is the YMD thing. But when you do this, let me just show you guys. So this would be let me just show you guys how this looks. So this would be October 25th, 1330. You know what? I'm gonna not use the time condition just because it's not Friday and I'm just simulating this thing. So let's not add the time condition. So let's just have the underlying price condition so that we basically want to make sure that it's in the money, we're above the strike. So I'm appending these conditions to the rolling call order. Anyways, placeholder price. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Okay, so this is this order. So now let's place the order. You know, since usually what will happen is we would have like many different orders. So like I'm gonna simulate. Usually you'd have like a list of these calls that you need to roll with like quantities and uh, like strikes. Let's say I have like 5 Tesla calls. So I have a Tesla call at 215 strike, 220 strike, that sort of thing. Here I just happen to have one call, but to make it more general, eventually you'll have more than one call. But I'm going to simulate that here. So I'm going to have like a strike. I'm going to call it CC for covered call, rolling strikes and trades. So I have 215 is a strike, and then I place order with this order and with this contract. And if I go like this, so now let's look at how this looks like. So I can do 4 strike trade in CC rolling call, rolling strikes and trades, and I probably lost everyone, so sorry ahead of time. Crazy. So I can print the strike. I can print trade dot order status dot status pre-submitted, and I can print trade dot order. So as you see, like a weakness of a paper count for me is it's always going to be stuck on pre-submitted. So this will never fill for me, but as soon as you switch to regular count, it will get filled. And as you see, like with the order, you have the price condition of is more than 215. With contract ID is the underlying contract ID, meaning the stock's contract ID. Okay, so this is how it looks like now. And as you see, like the order's limit price is negative 100. Okay, so we already placed that combo order with a very far out initial value. Okay, so now I want to subscribe to Realtime Bars for the underlying. No, you don't really need something like this. You can instead say like, well, okay, after 1:30 Eastern, do this in an asynchronous, non-blocking way. But I like this because it like is able to, I'm able to like kind of combine it with my other algorithms that rely on bars. So I have this in my real thing. So like I have a bar update and I have like 20 different things happening. Not 20, but like a few. And this could be one of them. So let's get the real-time bars. I do bars equals IB.rec. And it's always 5-second bars from my experience. So real-time bars, underlying contract, 5. It's always 5. What to show trades. Use regular trading hours. Let's do true. And I think that's it. So let's check. So I click this, and then let's see if bars works. So Tesla's at 217.59. Remember, you can do util.bars, util.df bars to get a data frame. Note the time zone is UTC, and we are doing things in Eastern. The thing I hate the most in programming in these things is time zones, because it's so buggy, and sometimes daylight savings messes things up. But in this case, it doesn't, because I just tried it. So what you can do to switch time zones is, let's say you can have something like df equals util.df bars. So you have this df looking like this, and you can have df time like this. So you can have df time equals df time dot dt dot tz convert US Eastern. And you see it's asynchronous, and it keeps getting bigger. So now I do df, and you see I have Eastern time. Right now it's about 2:42 Eastern, and we're at to second 10. I click again, it'll be probably second 15 or 20. Second 20. Okay, great. So those are the things. Okay, so now let's do our logic itself. So the idea is, on day of expiry, we're assuming today's day of expiry, but it's not. We're gonna start with like a buy order. We're gonna only for in the money, we're going to modify the order to the max of the price we got here when we do market price here, and the previous price, which is the previous price was as you see it's trade dot order dot limit price plus 5 cents. Because eventually, when the first time it's a market price, this will be a normal value, and then you keep, in worst case, you increase by 5 cents, so it's gonna converge. You can also do more aggressive things, like something closer to let's say the bid, and then you can probably get a better price, but this is just for practice. And also, I want to say, like, you should have like like logic order. Only if you're in the money do this, or try as not to modify your orders every second as much as possible, because you can get flagged as a professional trader. Wow, I'm speaking way too much. Uh, but anyways, let's just finish this for a second. So we're gonna need to do a loop. So the loop will be something like this. Logical loop um, from 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so we do something like this. We're gonna do let's let's define action. Um, let me just save you guys some of the details and show you what I have before. So I'm gonna need this datetime. I'm gonna need NumPy. And I'm going okay. So I need these two things. And I'm gonna have a thing called done rolling. Done rolling is set to false. That's if you're done rolling every contract. We happen to only have one contract, but I want to make it general. So I'm gonna have a get action function, and I'm gonna have an on bar update for the callback. And I'm not gonna redo this video, but I realize that it's gone a little out of hand. So the callback is gonna happen like this. Is like when we have a bar update, you create a data frame, you make time into Eastern time, and then you call this get action function. So what is this get action function? It's gonna say, okay, after 1:30 Eastern time. So we're after 1:30 Eastern time today, but let's make it 2:46, right? And let's print, let's make an else statement. Else, Jupyter, it makes it hard to like do this thing. Okay, let's make it else. Oops, I don't know if my else print. Forget it. We don't need this. So basically, what I want to do here is I want to basically, if we're not done rolling, what you do is from the data frame you check the time. So that's like the latest time value, and you do this time to get the time. So just to remind you guys, if you have df like this, and you do df dot time, oh sorry, you gotta do dt dot, sorry, dot time, that what is this not working? Oh, sorry guys. The ilog -1, the last value, dot time. This should. Okay, so you get the time. So I'm checking if this is like after the time we want, which is 1:30 Eastern. So you know what? 1:30 Eastern is actually 13:30. So let's just write it as is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I get the time, I get the last closing price to check if it's in the money or not. And then what happens is like, okay, if it's after the time we're ready to, okay, to be rolling. If we haven't finished rolling, then we set the done rolling to true. And it's just if we have something that hasn't rolled yet, it'll be false, and we'll keep going in the loop. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna iterate through the different contracts we need to roll, the strike and the trade, as we defined above. And if it's not active, then we continue, meaning we're skipping to the next strike trade combo. But if it is active, if the strike is less than close, this means it's in the money. Sorry, it means in the money. So then we get the order from trade.order. I just, for the sake of it, printed the order ID. The limit price I set to the max of the previous limit price in 5 cents and the current market price. And you set order limit price to that. And I don't know why I printed this order ID twice. I should print. Okay. So, we don't need to print order ID. That was just for debugging. But then, if you go through a whole loop of the rolling strikes and trades, and everything is not active, then we're done rolling. So then it'll be true. But if one is active or not, then rolling. But anyways, either way, I'm gonna print the order and the order status every time. And you know what? Let's also print the market price. That'd be the ticker rolling call covered call combo dot market price, because then you'll have some intuition of if it should have filled or not. Um, so now let's see if this works. So remember to attach the callback. We do, and this became a bit of a mess, but we we do bars. Oops, that's ugly. Dot. One second. Let's just make sure it actually works. Length bars is 97. Should be 98. Okay. Bars dot update event dot clear the callbacks, and then we attach the callbacks. We do plus equals on bar update. Anyways, let's see if this works. By the way, the reason I do it like this is that in general I create a feature vector and do stuff. But anyways, you see every 5 seconds. See, it's stuck on pre-submitted. This is the market price, the last thing. But the as you see, the limit price goes from negative 1.95 to negative 1.9, negative 1.8. So in real life, this would have filled by now, probably. Like it would have filled by now. But it's a paper account, so it doesn't. But as you see, like the limit price keeps increasing, so eventually it's gonna fill. That's the idea with this algorithm. Sorry, it became a little bit of a mess. I hope you enjoyed. If you guys have like specific questions and that sort of thing, you can join the channel because it's much easier to ask. We'll create a Discord, and it's much easier to like ask those questions. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, please like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks so much. And I'll just stop this for the hell of it. Clear. But see, it would have filled by now because the market price is negative 1.95. You know what? To make it even more clear, I can add I can make like bid here, and let's see if it would have filled. So the bid is negative. It's also negative 1.95. I don't know. I don't know exactly, but it would have filled for sure because you know it's way above the bid. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.